LJ for Space Station Gaming, and of course, the European squad of Appjack and Nolly coming over, teaming up with Chronic to form Gen.G. Only one can go to the grand finals. Here we go.
This is going to be an excellent matchup. Both teams have earned their right to be in this spot and to see the success on SSG with LJ and Gen.G with a squad, Noli and Appjack, their first in a regional event. I mean, it's so good to be able to see these teams clash. We talked about those guys, but also they have Chronic as well, rounding out the roster for him to be at this stage too. I mean, this is all just so important for them.
A lot of eyes on LJ coming into this event to see how he would perform replacing Reynolds. Big shoes to fill, and he's filled them very well. But apparently Jack has been the guy who's kind of stolen the show here in the North America Fall Open as Nolly goes underneath that ball, so Chronic's got to jump in. He can get to the backboard, away from Daniel. There's apparently Jack denied by Arsenal, and Nolly, little flutter in front. Arsenal sweeps that away as well.
Good clear out. You can see the pressure though. Gen.G off to a strong start. Very close opportunity, but SSG have still been able to kind of weather the storm here. And they've had some definite strides of their own. Keep an eye on that midfield. Also, you see Gen.G, especially Noli. Noli loves to make some really solid off-ball plays. He's been doing that all event long. He's been also able to assist Jack as well. Jack sitting at #1 in goals here for Gen.G.
22 in the event, nearly getting his 23rd, if not for the defensive heroics of Arsenal, who's rotating out of the play as Daniel lobs to the backboard, and Nolly's going to get back just in time. The interference up ahead, not enough for Space Station to break a scoreless deadlock. Now Daniel coming up from the back, and Chronic around Arsenal to make another save.
So a little bit of hesitation from Arsenal there. Didn't know if he should add on to the redirect, but that's a big B from LJ. Daniel tried to get the bump on Chronic, but Chronic able to get that one through. Daniel now trying again. This is really solid pressure here for Space Station Gaming, but unfortunately they come up empty off of a drive that, you know, you look back at it, if they just get that one bump on them, they end up successful there.
Physical play still the staple for SSG, but here goes Chronic with apparently Jack running ahead. Chronic took it himself, and Arsenal very proactive there to meet him. Nolly with a big win, and Daniel's guide this one out to the side where apparently Jack can come up. Daniel right down to Chronic, who's waiting, and LJ can't react in time. Chronic gets the opening goal.
Oh man, look at Appjack though. This touch out, you see the mistouch? Chronic able to place that perfectly. You saw where LJ was going. He takes that extra second to read the play. It's a good shot, and it's a great effort from Gen.G to set the tone here.
You see a guy like apparently Jack put in a lot of goals, and you think, okay, he probably doesn't have many assists. No, that's his 16th, and that's near the top in this event as Nolly drives through, and LJ with the initial save. Arsenal making sure apparently Jack can't get another touch immediately, and Nolly's going to have to yield to LJ to lob this to the backboard. See if SSG can get one back. Oh, what a save by Chronic. He's already got 3, but Daniel there to clean it up.
It's that SSG pressure coming out. Jack, again, kind of echoing the other side of the field there with the mistouch, and SSG pounced on the opportunity. Daniel able to equalize the game.
Daniel with his 4th shot already. And Chronic has 3 saves to lead Gen.G. It's been an offensive explosion with only 1 goal apiece. Chronic's going to have to watch Daniel play this off to the side. And Arsenal and apparently Jack collide in the air. No true winner there as Chronic will have possession for the moment, and LJ jumps in front. Can he get by Nolly? No. And this 1-1 deadlock continues with Arsenal dishing off towards Daniel, but he'll have to take it himself.
Like Gen.G's approach. Look at them passing towards each other. You see Jack there, high, looking for the follow-up. Jack does it all himself after the pass from Noli.
Azrin, you know the rules. Hand down, man down. Press X to jump. LJ a little too late. And apparently Jack gets on the board, his 23rd goal. Lead all scorers here on the field.
That initial touch to set that up, he does it in traffic, gets the recovery. Yes, somebody has to get there a little bit faster, but Jack not waiting for anybody. Pass, almost able to get a second one back, but unfortunately that one gets cut out. SSG down by 1. They start to look at the clock to see if they can get back into this game.
Arsenal under a lot of pressure. Daniel coming in to help out as well, and LJ all alone to send this right down the middle, and Chronic will not turn on that. I thought maybe he was gonna kind of cut in and jump up for that. Instead, lets the play develop. LJ trying to get this through the back wall, and SSG maybe afforded a little more time than they might have expected on the blue half of the field, but they come away empty-handed. LJ trying to drop one down to Arsenal, and Nolly's in the way. It just seems like Gen.G has such a great understanding of what SSG is trying to do to attack them, and they're able to react just a little bit faster as Chronic got a piece of that from Arsenal, and no follow-up from Daniel as Nolly swats it away. It's an empty net right now. LJ and Daniel, nobody took the net. They both went to the ball, and apparently Jack picked them apart.
Spacestation Gaming sent the house, and then they came up empty, and you saw Gen.G pouncing at the opportunity to get a free goal at net. You see SSG racing back, looking for a way to get a touch on the ball. The desperation there is just not enough, and that might cement this game. 30 seconds left. I don't see Gen.G dropping a 2-goal lead.
Arsenal said in his interview yesterday he thought that they were in a great position because they still had that chemistry between Arsenal and Daniel, but LJ was part of that play and not quite the understanding they needed to figure out who was going to get back to the net. And as a result, 2-goal lead now for Gen.G and almost certainly out of reach. But there is still time, as we learned yesterday. 1 second is enough, but this is not going to work out for SSG. They've run out of time, and Gen.G Mobile One Racing off to a 1-0 lead here in the semis.
Well done there for Gen.G. Seeing again Abjack come through, getting those 2 goals, but also, you know, you got to give credit to Noli. I mean, a lot of the speed in the midfield was a big part of that. Like him being able to read the play well, knowing when to get beats, and he got some important ones too, being able to cut off LJ from being super successful. LJ had a quiet game, and I think a lot of that's kind of just due to Gen.G being aware of exactly what Space Station can do ability-wise on the ball, and then cutting them out. So it's up to SSG to see if they can really make these adjustments going into this, because yeah, you're right. Towards the end of the game, it did feel like Gen.G had SSG red.
Statistically, of course, the edge belongs to Gen.G there, but Space Station had their moments, and it looked like they were maybe a couple touches away, especially bumps away from turning that game completely on its head. Unfortunately for SSG, it does not work out that way, so Gen.G takes game 1. Apparently, Jack and Nolly continue to steal the show. Chronic fitting in very nicely with his new former European teammates. Daniel gonna take this himself, and apparently Jack there to make the save, denying Daniel a spot on the highlight reel for now.
Creativity coming out from Daniel. And you talk about LJ, but Daniel is still a threat as much as he was when he first joined the league. Chronic, though, trying to take a chip at him, but Daniel, solid block. Jack was looking for a play out mid, but got demoed by Arsenal, and SSG can start to recruit from there on in.
It's hard to find a team that has had better off-season or trade window success than Space Station. You know, Daniel coming into the league, everybody hyped him up as the big prodigy. SSG was able to sign him. LJ was arguably the biggest target for teams, even though he was technically signed to Oxygen for a brief while. But everybody kind of knew he was going to be the guy everybody wanted in North America, and who ends up with him? Space Station Gaming. I think probably a lot of that might have to do with Chrome as well. The word's gotten out about just how valuable he is to this team, and why wouldn't you want to be a part of this? As LJ from the wing, try to drop one down. Chronic and Appjack are there, and Arsenal eats the demolition, so Chronic can try and clear this.
It's Chronic, ground pinch. Gen.G now moving upfield. Noli, that one gets tipped away from him, and now Gen.G have to race back. Jack able to push this forward. And seeing this Gen.G performance has been shocking, but Chronic almost able to start us off on the right foot. Noli follow-up, did get the read on that, but unfortunately the ball gets away from him. Gen.G having to retreat low on boost, but Jack trying to buy the team some time so they can coordinate another attack. Can Jack get the redirect? No. Still 0-0 as we hit the 3-minute mark.
I caught everybody by surprise, too. SSG a little lucky that Appjack and Nolly couldn't connect. Here goes Chronic. Just lob one downfield, see if Nolly can run under it. He's got the boost steal out of the corner. Appjack out of the corner. Chronic tracking, but Arsenal's got this all the way. And all Nolly can do is delay and give his teammates time to get back and reset on defense. And they have. Nolly flip reset intended for apparently Jack, who was apparently demoed by Arsenal.
It's been a fight in the midfield, though, from just straight up speed, cutting off opportunities for teams to get space, and you also saw, again, the demo come out there as well. SSG seem to be winning that midfield battle, though, with the amount of pressure that they have. But that being said, it's been such a fight that we haven't had too many opportunities on either side of the field. They're both just trying to trade space, looking for that way in.
Both teams, high-octane offenses being held at bay for now. But this is where it started to kind of come unraveled in the second half. Nolly gonna have to play this one with LJ coming on. That missed on the side. I think it was Chronic. Really put Gen.G in a rough spot. And Daniel and LJ not quite on the same page, but they do at least connect here for a shot, or at least ball to the backboard. LJ sailed it way high and couldn't get the read. And apparently Jack right at LJ. Even though he went indirect, LJ still had that one figured out.
Seeing this, look at from SSG, I mean, the drive is great, but you can kind of tell, you know, they had some time. Even though they had time to set up that pass play that we saw from Daniel and LJ, it still was getting cut out, just mainly because Gen.G have been so set in reading the play. Like I said, Noli's been big on that, but also Jack as well. Jack's had a good game. He's got a couple of saves. Noli almost able to get that shot on, but he misses, and Jack will try to do this himself. Pinches all the way across. And if in the final minute, we are still scoreless in game 2.
These transatlantic connections are going to match up eventually. And then when they do, SSG could be in for a world of hurt. Got to get some notches on the scoreboard here. 40 seconds left, still scoreless. Daniel to the backboard, has his flip. Drop it down for Arsenal, who might not have been expecting Daniel to get that touch. So he goes through, and they'll have to reset at midfield. 30 seconds left. LJ being chased by Nolly. Arsenal going to take this himself, and Chronic the initial save. Another savior medal for him.
I'm ticking down, but the game is speeding up. Final few seconds. 15 as Nolly puts that in midfield. Daniel goes up, calls off LJ. Chronic, though, the pass to Jack, puts it in the air. It's a race, and no one hits the ball. A little bit of panic on the SSG end. Gen.G looks to be setting up an attack. Chronic trying to get that middle, but Arsenal comes and picks it up. SSG seems to be playing this ball high, but it ends up hitting the ground, and overtime hits game 2.
Saw some late heroics out of Daniel, as has been the expectation from SSG fans yesterday. Now Daniel dropped out to LJ. Loose in front. Apparently Jack's got to be careful here as Arsenal was shading him, waiting in case he made any mistake. But of course, apparently Jack has made very few during this event. Here goes Chronic. He's got Nolly waiting out at midfield. Ball never got there. Another strong SSG defensive effort. Arsenal straight out off the backboard. Chronic. Nothing there as LJ and Daniel combine and shut down Gen.G again.
How do you find success when it appears not possible? Both of these teams have just struggled in breaking past the other's defense. And at this time, in overtime, this is where that consistency is tested. How consistent can you be, and for how long? Because now, all it takes is that one mistake, or maybe that one opportunity. As Jack goes up, he's cut off by LJ, and LJ looking for the pinch. Will find it on the sidewall, but it's sent straight to Gen.G, who will try to recover this.
This is the 12th overtime that these two teams have combined to play. Gen.G 4-0 so far in this event. SSG, they've played 7. They're a 5-2 record. They're very well versed in sudden death overtime. Here goes Chronic with apparently Jack to his left. LJ there to meet him. Arsenal, a little hesitation, and that's enough for Nolly to win cleanly. Chronic shot, a little bouncer, and guided aside gently by Daniel over to LJ.
50 now. Gen.G still trying to keep this pace. You see Daniel, a slight little mystery, so LJ comes to pick it up. While Daniel goes back to get boost. Arsenal waiting in the midfield for Jack. Jack wins the challenge. Nolly gets demoed by LJ. Jack, though, trying to finish this himself.
So good.
And he will!
He's just so good. He has been on another level in the North American Fall Open. Not many can get by Daniel and make it look easy, but apparently Jack had him dead to rights. And the one strike is all they need. An overtime winner gives Gen.G a 2-0 series lead.
And Jack, we talked about it. We've been talking about it all series long. He looks like he's just on another level. He's in form today. And Space Station Gaming right now, I mean, he's been the biggest problem for them. That being said, Chronic has also been having a game himself. I mean, those 3 saves, those shot pressures, we know Chronic can put on a lot of shots. He's been doing that all tournament. He's number 1 in shots on. So SSG now taking the timeout. You see Chrome talking to him, as this is really a space where he does excel in, being able to break down a team. And especially the way this particular game was so close, comes down to that winner. I think it's pretty big SSG take the timeout here.
Gen.G was a team that came in with a lot of hype, and people kind of questioned their seeding. A lot of questions with the seeding in North America that, for the most part, kind of played itself out. Of course, Shopify Rebellion opening a lot of eyes. This Gen.G team, they were the wild card that everybody wondered, what are we really going to get? Can these Europeans adjust to the North American style of play? Can North America keep up with apparently Jack and Nolly if they're playing at their peak? And right now, I'd certainly say both of them are on a different level. And, you know, it's easy to kind of bury Chronic here, right? As, I mean, we talked so much about apparently Jack. He's got the 3 goals. Chronic does also have the other goal for Gen.G, and he has been superb defensively. He's not trying to do too much. He's not trying to shine the spotlight on himself like, hey, look at me, look at me. He's just fitting in with the team, and that's all you ever want out of a guy.
Yeah, and that was the big question when Chronic joined the roster initially. A lot of people were trying to figure out, okay, why Chronic? I mean, he's young. Again, being in these high-pressure situations, is he going to be able to perform on that level, or will he crack? And right now, I mean, if you're teamed up with Nola and apparently Jack, I mean, they're going to do the best to make you feel comfortable and fit in. They've always talked about having good team environments. It shows in these situations. You can see it on the cameras in the screen. Like Chronic, like he's having a great time out there. I mean, but that also being said, he's in the North American Fall Open semifinals, so I'd be having a great time too. Can they put this series on match point, though, is the question. SSG coming off a tactical timeout. We'll see if any adjustments can be made.
This is by far Chronic's best performance in an RLCS event, but he had certainly opened plenty of eyes, as did 2Piece. Especially the way they took on kind of the giants of North America, teams like NRG last season. Kind of struggled with the combination of Chronic and 2Piece. LJ gonna bring this over to the corner. He's got the boost steal. There's a guy in Arsenal who probably stolen more boost in this event than anybody else. He has been a menace for teams to contend with. Nolly gonna take over here from apparently Jack. Chronic trailing in behind him. This will go out to the corner for Chronic. LJ saw that whole play develop, and he's there to at least get in the way. Daniel's got this away as well, and the physical play from SSG grants him a brief reprieve.
Oh, but Daniel trying to set things up. Oh, he didn't have the flip. It looked like he might have. Or maybe if he did, just decided not to use it. Now SSG fighting in the blue half. Could be a chance, but Noli able to clear things away, turning the tide. They don't want to give Space Station too much space they're going forward. You can definitely see a little bit of aggression, but Gen.G have also decided to like slow things down, so to speak, in this game. So it's been a quiet start on either side of the field.
Daniel spending a lot of time at the back. Chronic yields to apparently Jack at Arsenal. An air-to-air missile just taking him off the field. And he's back on the respawn, trying to get up to midfield. Good luck. SSG just a little too fast. Not letting apparently Jack get comfortable here in this third game. But here he goes again. Couldn't get around LJ. Arsenal with Chronic hesitating a little bit. Arsenal double, but denied by Nolly. Now Daniel kind of circling around at midfield there, Daz. Still not able to get as involved in the play as he would like to be, and all he can do is watch apparently Jack just dish that off to the bottom left or bottom right.
You talk about it, the reason Noli is just in his face, bullying and forcing him back. By the time Daniel can even see what Jack's doing with the ball, Jack already has his plan lined up. Daniel was forced to cover a ton of angles, and Jack picked the right spot.
So over the last couple of trips down the field for these two, it's apparently Jack 2, Daniel 0, as Daniel's shot there blocked by Jack as well. He has just kind of had Daniel's number, and not many have over the past year and a half. Daniel pinned it to the backboard, and then his own goal by Chronic.
Yeah, this play was definitely a bit of a disaster, especially it starts off with Noli just completely going up. Forgot how much boost he has, so he just floated in the air. Jack was sitting on a boost pad because he was low, and then you see SSG move upfield. Chronic, I think he just chalked it up. So you know what, you guys can have it. We'll go next.
He was kind of being chased back through midfield by LJ. And then they just panicked a little bit. Halfway mark, SSG, one way or another, they're back on the board. Daniel makes the initial save here on Chronic. There, Chronic kind of gave it right back to Daniel. Couldn't slow him down that much. Gen.G forced to scramble a little bit now defensively as SSG, especially coming out of that timeout, they seem to have found a potential winning formula.
You would hope so, but the problem with Spacestation Gaming is even with that goal that they scored, it doesn't really count as them being super successful on offense. It's really just a bunch of mistakes Gen.G have been making that allowed that goal to go in. For SSG, they have to be able to force the issue. They have to break down Gen.G. That's something they have not been able to do this series. And with a minute 40 left on a big game, especially coming off that tactical timeout, you would have thought that they would have been able to do it, but Gen.G have just been playing so well that even though SSG have tried to change up how they make their approach on the field, it still has not been enough.
Silky smooth defensive work there by Chronic with a man chasing him. I believe it was Arsenal going for the demo. Now here is LJ off the crossbar. Arsenal can't follow in time. Apparently Jack very quick in the air. And Gen.G fends off SSG again, but for how much longer? Daniel boost deal, and he took out Chronic. Nolly's there. Haven't said a lot about Nolly. He's just kind of been in the background, keeping Spacestation at bay as well. I think everybody almost deferring to apparently Jack and letting him be the guy, which is probably a relief for him. That hasn't happened very often in his career. Here goes Arsenal. Out of the corner, Daniel. Could be a tough angle. He got Chronic in the air, and apparently Jack makes the initial save, and there's Nolly to finish it off.
This is still not good for Gen.G. They're all on that back wall. Chronic finally hit the ground. Daniel's just playing with him. He pulls out Noli for that challenge, but then LG's able to pick it up. Chronic gets beat there, but no one's there for SSG to be able to put that on target. 20 seconds remaining here in regulation. Daniel looking for a bump on Noli. LJ trying to make that finish, but Noli able to clear it out, buy himself some time for now. Is Gen.G going to move up the field? They could, with this play, double commit from SSG. Chronic on top of the ball, able to get past one. Arsenal off that back wall, tries to put this one down. He's actually going to keep the play going. Look at Daniel's up, trying to get this pass. Chronic, chance there, LJ, almost. But the last overtime once again in this series.
Back-to-back OTs, it was a scoreless regulation in game 2. LJ to pop one for Daniel, but he's gonna struggle to get the touch he wants. Couldn't get this back out in front. Did about as well as he could with that play. And now Nolly over to Chronic. Apparently Jack away from the ball now. How much longer is that gonna continue? You get the boost out of the midfield. It doesn't really matter. He's got this around. Nolly's there! Hard down! And LJ kept it out. Oh, the apparently Jack and Nolly combination almost worked again. Instead, Arsenal gets it back on the other side, and SSG has life.
Oh my God! That LJ save that started that off was absolutely incredible. And then for SSG to recover after almost pretty much being scored on, drive down the field like that. My goodness, what a well-earned win off the defensive stop there. But that could have gone the other way, Stacks.
It very well could have. Gen.G just the slimmest of margins away from a commanding 3-0 advantage. But instead, not just a 2-goal swing, but a 2-game swing. as Arsenal right there puts it away at the end. Spacestation survives the onslaught in game 3. And now they're in a much better position than we thought they were going to be in about 5 seconds before Arsenal ended it.
I mean, for LJ to be able to pre-jump that, because he has to guess where it's going, and it's like off the bar on his car, goes out, and Arsenal just jumps on it. I think Gen.G were just so stunned at that moment. I mean, you see the shot get blocked out, but then the ball's just moving so fast that there was just not much they could really do. So for them, that game just gets away from them. For SSG, though, very good stuff on the defensive end. Can they translate that into more offense is the question. This has been a very low-scoring affair, and it seems as though it's going to continue to go that way. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Well, with all the talk about whether or not the org decals make you play any better or any worse, Daniel's gone for a car change. He's in the SSG decal now. The old one, we'll see how that works out for him. Nolly, denied by Arsenal. And LJ's got to scramble back. He's got a full tank of boost. He's going to use some of it for the initial stop here and possession to give his teammates time to get some boost of their own. And there is not much on that half of the field. Apparently Jack to Chronic, and Daniel shaded him the whole way.
Great presence there from Daniel, ability to read. He's also trying to extend that to the offensive end, looking for bumps on Noli. We've seen a lot of lead blocks here in terms of just driving upfield, trying to get that demo. I mean, Noli's done it. He's been doing it all event. Here's LJ. Daniel gets it past Noli. Chronic able to stop that before Arsenal was able to put a shot on. LJ still keeping this into play. First minute's gone by. The Space Station have maintained most of the possession here.
Chronic and apparently Jack get on the same page, and it's Nolly's shot that gets sent away. Apparently Jack credited with one as well, and LJ the initial save on that effort. Not much threatening in the first 90 seconds as everybody's kind of calmed down after a frantic 40 seconds of overtime in game 3. Now Daniel. It's a little too strong for LJ. Nolly, we had designs on a clear, and LJ got the dunk. Did not go netward. It's Daniel now at midfield. Nothing there. Chronic coming up. He could have a look. Instead, it's apparently Jack. Could have been a decoy play, but it didn't really work out as LJ is there. SSG not fooled at all by any of Gen.G shenanigans.
They've just been remaining patient. Even with that press from Gen.G, SSG didn't really get put in any real threatening situations. LJ try to put this one into space. How will SSG move up the field? Gen.G's been blocking them every step of the way. Chronic trying to challenge Daniel. Daniel, he loses the ball there, so Noli will just boom that to the midfield. And just a waiting game as Gen.G try to use that boost to get out.
Chronic for apparently Jack, perhaps. Nothing there. So Nolly's got to jump up, and Arsenal had jumped way earlier. Daniel got him, and he scores!
Daniel comes up big. That one goes off the ceiling straight to him. Jack tried to get the read a little too slow, and Chronic just has to watch the ball trail in his net. Great speed here from Daniel, and SSG trying to turn this series around to get a good start here in game 4, but can that keep up?
Down but never out, but how about this? Nolly with the redirect to just skim it along the ground, and Gen.G answer right back after a big win from Chronic.
And Nolly on that play has no boost. He comes off initially getting bumped around. Ball's on his head. He's like, you know what, why don't I just jump? Jumps over LJ. It's the perfect doink.
Okay, Stumpy. It goes Chronic. Oh, great pass. Apparently Jack. Apparently through the net.
Top left slot from Jack. Look at the speed on this. Chronic takes his time, lines it up, and Jack, you can't give him space like that. Daniel tried to put a hand up, but it was too late. Jack had that line down.
83 miles an hour. A missile, and Jack got another off the kickoff. Here comes Gen.G off to the races.
Here comes Gen.G. Here comes Jack. He's already had a good series so far, but this one, off the kickoff, it's a great cheat through, and this game is starting to slip away from Space Station. They got 2 minutes left on the clock, and even though they had to start, they have just let this one get away from him. Daniel trying to do it all himself with a solo effort, but they're gonna need a bit more of that. LJ even tried to put a shot on, but it was blocked out. They talk about the time on the clock stacks. Teams have so much time, especially late. But with the way Gen.G have been playing, SSG is not gonna have that many opportunities here as the clock ticks.
Apparently, Jack coming in with 22 goals. He's got 6 more to add to the tally in this series. 2 from game 1, a couple from game 4 here. Nolly hangs with the play and gets his second. Everybody shoots, everybody scores today.
Arsenal tried to get a good clear out, was under a lot of pressure, sets up Nolly, he puts a testing shot on net. Daniel does get the save, but the touch is not in the best spot. It's straight in front of Nolly. He says, thank you, I'll score that. 3-goal lead for Gen.G. They are dominating in this game.
You talk about individual efforts. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on LJ coming into this series. So far, no goals, no assists. Trying to get involved in the play here. Daniel up the ladder. LJ to the backboard. Nobody to chase down. He did get Chronic coming around on the rotation. Daniel hanging around in the net. That leaves Arsenal all alone, but he's sure-handed enough. Dealing with Chronic. 3-goal deficit, though, as Chronic dances through 2, but he could not get by the brick wall of LJ.
Nolly off the ceiling, tries to get around that, but Gen.G in the most comfortable position possible. Look at Abjack just taking his time. He's dragging him up the field. He's walking the dog. And SSG have no bite in this game. LJ will try to get something here late, but with the way this has been set, final 30 seconds seem like a formality.
Apparently Jack tracking here. In his last 8 games, he scored a goal in each of them, 12 total. Quite the impressive streak. LJ trying to get his first. That shot denied by Nolly. Arsenal now. Little floater denied by Nolly again. LJ too slow coming up. And that's dished off to the side. All that remains is to see what the final scoreline will be. 4-1. Mobile One Gen.G is now on match point.
I like that. Seeing this though, I mean,
Press 1.
Breaking down this game. I mean, I just, again, the way that even though Chronic has not been involved in the scoring, but yet everywhere else, he's been a big factor. He's still putting on a lot of high shots. He has 3 assists out of the 4 goals, and he's been able to put up a couple of saves here. I mean, Nolly and Jack are superstars in their own right. My goodness, have they had some really good shots and really good goals here. But Chronic also being able to round out like the roster. They just look so good as a team.
Yeah, again, all the questions about how this would work out. 2 European players coming over with just kind of this relatively unknown, maybe underrated North American star in the making. And, well, this is a star-making performance for Chronic, but especially now for apparently Jack over in North America. He is making his presence felt 5 minutes away from getting to the grand finals of the North American Fall Open. Never thought we'd see the day we were talking about apparently Jack and Nolly in that context. But here we are with Chronic trying to set up Nolly. That one goes a little bit high, and here we go on Wasteland.
Let's see if SSG come out successful on Wasteland. Final life, no timeouts, no more games remaining for them. They've got to figure it out on the field here. And, oh, Daniel, Jack actually read that and put a shot on.
Crazy.
But SSG able to block that out, get some space, but only for a moment. Now Chronic trying to get to that ball. LJ, big time touch there to hold off the storm. For now, Nolly was going to put a shot on, but it's Daniel with a fantastic bump. SSG, though, are scrambling to control this. Gen.G are like a monster. They're all over him. They're giving him nightmares as Chronic able to get the first goal.
The whole time as Nolly put that ball in the air, I'm just thinking, guys, tap out. They're all just bunched up right in front of the net. Just let them score. Get back to the kickoff and try and generate something there. It finally happens as the dam breaks. 48 seconds into game 5. And Nolly back on possession again. Gen.G just seem a lot faster, and apparently Jack extends his streak to 9 in a row with a goal.
I don't know. Kids, close your eyes. I just witnessed a murder. What kind of dunk did I just see there? Jack with the read on LJ to the top right corner. They're playing on another level, Stacks. They want to close this out right now. Gen.G looking towards the grand finals. My goodness.
Both G2 and Faye has got to be watching this going, all right, who wants them? Here goes apparently Jack against Arsenal again. It's loose in front, then Daniel has to come in and stop either Nolly or Chronic from getting involved in the play. That only works for so long. Apparently Jack, another win, but that's right at Arsenal. Now Nolly towards Jack. No, he had rotated out, so Daniel takes over. So a chance on offense now for SSG. Finally 90 seconds into a game they must win, where they've already conceded twice.
That's going to be so tough, especially just because in general, they have not been good in the goal scoring department against Gen.G. And this entire series has been them just trying to figure that out offensive-wise. Now they have to score 2. They have to score 3 if they want to force Neo Tokyo. They've got time on the clock, but it just feels like everything is against Spacestation Gaming right now.
Especially feel that LJ just has to get one on the board. The problem is he's nowhere near, and Chronic single-handedly gets by.
The young gun Chronic. Oh, the chain dash into that beat. You can tell LJ thought he had that ball for free, and Chronic said, not a chance. It's going in the back of the net. 3 goals for Gen.G as now the scoreline continues to increase, and SSG fans in a panic.
Nolly threats the needle with his car to avoid the oncoming contact. He's got the clear there. The point I was trying to make about LJ earlier, if Gen.G would stop scoring for a moment, is he just got to see the ball go into the net once to get him going. The problem is nothing has gone right for LJ. Nothing's gone right for SSG in this game as Nolly adds another.
This is incredible. This is actually just so stunning to me. I mean, you talk about SSG's performance in this tournament, and you expected them initially, after looking at qualifiers, to see them at this stage of the game, but it just feels like nothing's working for them. And it's just so incredible to see this much talent on SSG run into the brick wall right now that is Gen.G. They have them read like a book.
Maybe against the other 6 potential opponents in this top 8, it's a different story. But on this day, Gen.G has stifled Spacestation Gaming. Daniel, gotta get something going here. He may have to call his own number. He does. There's nobody else even in the vicinity. And Chronic stops him one-on-one. Apparently Jack stones LJ. And now SSG forced all the way back to their own corner.
Ooh, Daniel's still trying to make something work. There is time here for SSG, but they gotta get these going, and that almost went in. I didn't expect it to go in, Stacks, but as I heard your concern, I got a little concerned. It's a minute 30 left.
I just saw the jump at midfield, and then apparently Jack, and my initial thought was, oh God, they double committed. Okay, this is a chance. No, it's planned. Are you kidding me?
Oh, goodness. Now with this
talk about team chemistry. I mean, this is the North American follow-up, and this is the first event of the RLCS season. They can't have had that much time to develop chemistry. They're fine. They're in mid-season form right now, at least.
People talk about honeymooning, but this just feels like it's a different level. For them to
celebrating their silver anniversary right now.
Like I said, it definitely caught me off guard, but man, oh man, is it great to see. This Abjack must-feed, almost scored that. LJ comes out to save it. This one's ticking down, but you can feel it. You already know that this one, I just don't see Gen.G dropping 4 here, dropping 5 either. Not without responding.
Actually, I'm dropping 1. This is as impressive a performance in the opening stages of a season that we've seen. Chronic right at midfield. There's Arsenal trying to get 1 on the board, at least. And they will not even be granted that consolation. Final 5 seconds are going to tick away. Gen.G is on its way to the grand finals. G2 and FaZe, beware.
Unreal here from Gen.G. The performance they put on this series is definitely gonna make some waves. It's just wow. Like these guys coming together and feeling like that team environment from them so early on. It's almost, I mean, I don't think anybody could have predicted them being this good this fast. As I also kind of feel like Johnny Boy might be laughing somewhere.
Oh, the impressions will be farmed to the nth degree for sure. As Gen.G Mobile One Racing, led by apparently Jack, with his 7 goals in the series. He extends his goal scoring streak to 9 games in a row and continues his reign of terror from the Great North here in North America. Just an incredible performance. I mean, SSG got a game. They got a game 2-1 in overtime, and Gen.G took that personally. They outscored them 8-1 over the final 2 games. As mentioned, FaZe and G2 are the other semifinal, and guess what? That's coming your way right after this. Don't go anywhere.